Hello and welcome to Stop Now. I'm JK, your host for the Experiment Lab, the daily show, and I'm joined by Amar. Amar, happy Friday. And this time, I'm not going to talk about good news. Today, it's going to be bad news. Not just because it's a Friday, but because we have some issues with probably the video that we did yesterday.
Oh,
What do you do, Amar? What did you do? Did you make any harassment or bully someone? Probably I bullied you. That might have triggered that, like the video has been removed for violating YouTube policy. Anyway, that is clear. We will publish how to resolve these things, contacting the YouTube support team, and they have given a whole list of things, exceptions. And just to make it clear, like it's an harassment, education, and awareness video, how people are being exploited, right? That is our main thing. So they have removed it. We have the option to make an appeal. We will do an appeal, and once the team is reviewing the appeal, we will get to have that, right? So we will get to have the information, and we will contest further, right? So this is one thing I wanted to share before we proceed with today's talk. So you have any comments on this?
nothing, but I don't know why they are removing this video. Or maybe we did some wrong according to their rules and regulations. We described about Google or some big billionaire companies. That's why maybe they are doubting us for.
Exactly, right? I mean, it's not just a content that we published, it is more on Google itself, right? So when I already spoke about it, if you are going against their company, their policies, obviously they will not welcome that, right? So nobody is going to welcome someone who is targeting us all the time, and they will definitely block us out. So that is there. But we had interview, right? So probably Google has to wake up and understand why this is happening, and they can support us, like how we can stop this. So we had a couple of interviews, and I will play out one interview before we get any calls from the recruiters. And also today is the last day for Ram's project in the Institute one. So we will talk about that in a while.
Hi, is this Mani
Yes.
Kandan?
Yes.
You prefer to call Mani?
Yeah, Mani is fine.
Okay. Hi, Mani. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. So, Mani, where are you located?
San Antonio, Texas.
Okay, Texas. Okay. I think I checked out your resume, so I just opened it. Actually, there's another person, but I think he has a conflict, so he is not going to join. Himanshu.
Okay.
So looks like just you and me, I guess. So let's proceed with this.
All right.
So before we start, I'll give you some little background. So I'm from HCL, and of course, Himanshu is also from HCL. So ideally, and we are both working or supporting Google clients. So Google is our end client, and HCL has a huge presence in Google. We have been working with Google on several initiatives, not only in particular area, but pretty much in every line of business that Google has. When HCL has their consultant, working here. I think if you talk about the numbers, I think we have about over 2,000 people working in the Google account itself. So it's a huge, huge amount for SQL. Particularly, my group is supporting supply chain organization, but this particular back is actually under Himanshu's organization. Unfortunately, he's not here, but if there's a need, he will talk to you as well. Typically, we have two-phase process. One is, we do internal screening, and this is exactly what we are doing right now. And if everything goes well, because we have to talk to a couple more people tomorrow. Also, I think our recruiters had a few calls. So I think today, tomorrow, and maybe Monday, I think we will have some more calls. And at the end of the stage, when probably we'll come up with our top 2 candidates, and then probably we will invite Google manager for the second round.
All right.
Okay. So as I said, that would be with the Google manager. So generally, either I may or may not be there, but again, Google manager will be taking that call. And if we get a green light from Google, we will start the onboarding process. But typically, it's a two-phase process. Sometimes it happens, between the Google manager and this phase, you may set up another quick, perhaps session if there's a need. Okay, so this is a high-level background. I'm pretty sure you have many other questions in your mind. So my suggestion is put it on parking lot right now, and we will take up in last 5 minutes. Hard stop in 30 minutes or 27 minutes from now. So let's get started. So before we proceed, can you help me walk through your credentials?
Sure.
Focusing only on last 5 years.
Sure, absolutely, yes. So I've been so just to give a glimpse on, right, so this is what has happened, and I was going all over, right, explaining all that and also talking about it. Before we jump into it, Amar, if you want to share like what's happening with the project and other investigation that you are doing, like any calls, any interesting calls from the recruiters, or do you want to continue with this interview?
Just a minute. I got an email from a recruiter. Their client was TCS. Just a minute. I'm sharing my screen.
I got a voicemail. Let me play that out.
Okay, sure.
Hello, sir. This is Radha this side. I just received a resume in the National Project Manager position. Can we discuss a few things over the call so that I can share the rate information and we can proceed quickly? Could you please call me back at 984-230-3149? Thank you.
Oh,
we're talking through with A-Line Staffing. You'll find one of our LinkedIn postings in regards to a Salesforce business analyst / Scrum Master role. I just want to speak to you more in regards to it, see if it might be a good fit for you. Feel free to give me a call back whenever you get this message, 586-960-3858. Yeah, the number is 586-960-3858. Look forward.
Hi, Mani Akash from NTT Data. I was trying to reach you. Kindly call me back as soon as possible. Thank you.
Well, including the blanks, I would say
Okay, I got this email from a recruiter. Their client is TCS. So he asked me some question. Let's see here. Have you worked with TCS in the past on their payroll?
No,
Did they
right?
pay you? So
See, what a question, right? So this is the most
yes,
funniest thing, right? TCS is a billion-dollar company, right? So if you worked on TCS payroll, obviously they would have paid you, and that is
yes.
uh, uh, I don't know, it's a joke or something, but still, right? No, no is the answer, and obviously we can say whatever we want, but if we say yes, they will ask for sure your pay stub or proof that like what is your TCS employee ID and all.
They also know that after hiring, they
Yeah,
don't pay their employee. That's why they ask this question, I think.
okay. Yeah, they might have hired and then they might have fired, so that might be the reason they're asking. Uh, So this is not a big deal again. So as I played a different voicemail, like they just keep calling us and also sending us like the same informations over and over. And let's see, like this person wants to talk. Okay, we are having some technical issues, it seems. Let them call, right? As usual, when we try to call, it just hits the voicemail all the time. And maybe I will text them and see like if anyone calls meanwhile, right? Meanwhile, I was going to share this again, the story, right? The Friday story. And we have made sure like the timesheet has been filled. So it's a last day. So Ram was crying out. This is a story, a real choice, uh, a Friday story, and a happy weekend. A man got lost in a desert and had exhausted all the water he had carried a couple of days ago. He knew for sure that if he didn't get some water, he would certainly die. Although completely exhausted, the man didn't give up hope. He kept walking, looking for some sign of good fortune. Suddenly, he saw a small hut at some distance. Could it be a mirage? He thought, or maybe just a hallucination. But having no other option left, he edged closer only to realize that the hut was real. Gathering the last bits of energy left, he dragged his tired body inside the hut, hoping he could find some water. The hut was empty and seemed like it had been abandoned for quite some time. His heart skipped a beat when he saw what was in the hut, a hand pump. Water finally. He was overjoyed. He began working the hand pump, but no water came out. He tried harder and yet harder, no water. Finally, after putting in every bit of energy, he gave up out of exhaustion and frustration and sat down thinking, maybe I'm destined to die out of thirst today. And then a second ray of hope. He noticed a bottle in one corner of the hut. It was filled with water and corked up to prevent evaporation. He uncorked the bottle and he was just about to devour the life giving water. He noticed a piece of paper attached to it. The handwritten message read, use this water to start the pump. Don't forget to fill the bottle when you are done. He was now in a dilemma. Follow the instructions and pour the water into the pump or ignore it, just drink the water. What if he put the water into the pump and it didn't work? But then maybe the instruction was correct. Should he risk it? If it turned out to be false, he would be throwing away the last water he would ever see. Have you ever been in a situation like this? where there are only two options, an uncertainty about which one will work, what you do, which one will you choose. Well, you have to choose one and be willing to bear the consequences that brings it. Many people don't decide because they are fearful of the consequences and they continue to remain confused in their life. The man decided to take a leap of faith. Hands trembling, he poured the water into the pump, closed his eyes, said a prayer, started working the pump. He heard a gurgling sound and water came down gushing out way more than he could possibly use. He drank the cool, refreshing water to his heart's content and quenched his thirst. He was going to live. Feeling much better, he looked around the hut and found a pencil and a map of that region. The map showed that he was still far away from civilization, but at least now he knew he was and in which direction to go next. He filled up his flask for the journey ahead, and as per the instruction on the note, also filled up the bottle and put the cork back in. And before leaving the hut, he added his own lines before the instruction. Believe me, it works. Most of us may not be confronted with a situation like this, where the choice made decides whether we live or die. Yet we have our own journeys to take and our own choices to make. The choice we make goes our way, fantastic. We can inspire people by telling them, believe me, it works. And if it doesn't go our way, we can share our mistakes and our experiences, our realizations, and empower people to make their right choices. It's an amazing story. That's exactly what we are doing, right? So we have two choices. Either we can report it, we can talk about it, how it's do or die. Again, that's why like we are doing this, and it's a excellent story. I can't say anything more because the choices we make, right, are crucial. Again, if the person in this, the moral of the story, Kamar, in this, that dude took all the risk, right? Pouring the water in and trying it out. What if it didn't work? So he might have died. And nobody would have known that. So this is why like these kind of stories not just open your eyes, but also make you to wonder like what is the right choice, right? Because we try to make a happy ending and give a moral saying that like okay, you have to be good and have faith and trust and hope. But what about people who become victims? What about people who suffer? And if the person is dead, nobody would be able to know his story, all right?
Yes.
That's the irony. Again, Google should realize that taking a strike on us is going to not make any big difference, right? I know for sure, like nobody watches our video except for the YouTube people who are reviewing this. Joke apart. Do you think we will have some calls today?
No calls actually for today. I don't know why. Maybe last day of the week. That's why. Also, we are not getting much email from the recruiter side.
Yes, probably
That's what happened.
Friday, so it's kind of slowing down.
Yes.
We might continue with the interview, right? We can play that out.
Okay.
And we shared an interesting story for our viewers as well. But more than that, like I would say, it's like the importance of what we are doing here, right? So that people have to understand why we do this. And I will skip certain portions of me talking in this and see like what more questions.
I'm an independent consultant and I even work for USA and I work as such.
and for different agencies.
Background. And these are in some cases, or most of the cases, you said Scrum, right?
Yes, so Scrum.
I think you're a Scrum. Do you have any experience in Waterfall as well?
Yes, all these things, right? So in the M&T Bank,
Running those projects.
Yes, initially that's a good point, right? So when we work with PMO hand, yeah, you're right. So also in
will not be given to you, I guess. But if you're FT, then probably they would give some budgeting work as well.
Yeah, you're right. So a list of.
You want to share your experience, root cause, like why it was off track, and then what did you do to bring it back? Take any of the project, existing project.
I would say delivery time needed was distribution and in different resource cycle.
Example.
Yes. So in terms of examples, I would say the Scrum in Google is
the company is to come to the office, and that is why Google spent a lot of money on bring you to the office. Like they have free shuttle, they have free food, all 3 times, all 3 meals. People just come and play games there. The whole idea is you come and meet people face to face, because they are looking for innovation, and innovation is something that cannot come when you work in isolation. Even if you chat with someone on a hallway, maybe that hallway discussion can create a new innovation. So that was the whole intent of the Google. So I don't know future, but right now I think we are working from home, so can be flexible enough.
All right. Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm open to it, and most of the opportunity. So what would be the next?
And I'm hoping let Himanshu decide. And then if there's a need, we'll give you joint feedback. But next step is, as I said, when we are talking to some other candidates, and I'm hoping early next week, probably we'll come up with our top 2 candidates. And if you are one of those, we will actually set up a session with Google Manager. So Google Manager, I think Cheb is a Google Manager. So we'll set up a call with him, and then he'll talk to you for about 30 minutes. And if you get a green light from him, we will start the onboarding process. And sometime we may need a prep session, because again, it depends, because you don't know who the person is, and what is his thinking, perspective, etc. You may not know.
Yeah, the expectations.
Once you work very closely with him, so he can actually set up a 30-minute call before you actually meet the Google Manager. It's more like a prep session. So if you are one of those, top 2 guys, then probably we'll set up a quick prep session where Himanshu will tell you what he like and what he don't like, right? So that way and then you can articulate your answer accordingly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So that's it, I guess. Do you have anything else? Actually, I have to go for another call.
No, thank you so much. It's nice talking to you, and you have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, thanks, Mani, and thanks for your time. And as I said, stay tuned. One of us or maybe our recruiter will contact you.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Mani. Have a nice evening.
You too. Bye. Well, it was not an interview, right? So it's more of a kind of a screening, get to understand, and also trying to present to Google managers that he is our employee. And so like all the recruiters, right, saying that whoever reaches out to they ask us to lie, saying that you are our employee and represent us to our client. So the same way, like again, in the gang, HCL America is also joining, and no exception. So all the companies are trying to poach candidates. That's how like this interview, the screening process went in, and he was like friendly and nice. So that was a good part. What do you have to talk about other than this?
So about the interview, you ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they just introduced with you before hiring you or taking the interview. That's why they are asking you to come on to talk with them, just for verifying you that you are the right person or justifying your experience. Yeah, that's it. Am I right? It's okay.
Yes, again, right. So this is something that I'm trying to see, like we get any other additional update from our team or anybody's profile so that we can share those things. If not, probably we can wrap up for today. If we started early, probably in the next 5-10 minutes, we don't get any calls, we might have to close
Yes.
this. Again, in the coming one, right? So I can say a couple of interviews we had. One was like with the same one, right? So it's not just uh, we are targeting any particular community or country in this. It's not just Indians who are doing this. This was started by the Americans, right? The American companies are doing this, just like for, as I told, right, for American Heart Association, also we had an interview. There also through a Bravo Tech agency, they were coaching to get the interview cleared, how to do it by having an introduction call. I'll play that out. Maybe it was a long 40 minutes interview and 20 minutes of coaching. So it comes to around 1 hour. You don't have to play the 1 hour. I'll play for 5 minutes. Well, before that, we are getting a call. Let me take that. Hello. Hello. No, we are not able to hear. It goes to Hi, Melissa. Can you
Put
hear
my
me?
speakers on there. There we go. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Well, thank you for taking time to meet with us. We always just like to do a quick little interview briefing. That way we know you have as much information as we can provide you to have a successful interview with American Heart. And so my colleague is Cheryl Francois. I'm on the recruiting side and Cheryl is on the account management side. So American Heart Association is her client and she's been working with them for many, many years. So give her just another minute here to hop on and she can give you some insight into the organization and the hiring manager and all. And I was just looking up just a few details here about the job. Again, this is entitled a Senior IT Project Manager position, and they do have a contract to hire. So just wanted to confirm, you're good with a contract to hire position?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Good, good, good. And the nice thing about it, it is 100% remote.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Good, good, good. Yeah. And now remind me, where are you location wise?
San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Well, we're in Dallas.
Okay.
In America, yeah. So I'm in the Dallas area. So I'm with Bravo Tech. And again, we're an IT staffing company based in Dallas, and we've been in business over 25 years. And then American Heart Association, they're also headquartered in the Dallas area.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. Are you familiar with them and what they do?
Yeah, it's kind of
They're like it's probably the place they're gonna retire. You know, it's one of those people stay there a long time. But you know, really, it's just the thing that I hear from most candidates and most of our consultants is they love the people. You know, the people, the personalities there is so they're just awesome people. They love our consultants there are people that we place on the direct hire, which we don't get many of those, but we do occasionally get some. They basically just love that they're doing such important work. Like, you know, a lot of people have said, you know, I've worked for a lot of companies my whole career and, you know, banks and different other organizations, but this feels like the most important work that I've done, you know, the things of that nature. So it's so very rewarding from that perspective. And it's just, they're a great organization. They look for people that have experience, you know, can kind of come in and figure out what needs to be done. Of course, there's people there to support you, but they've got a lot going on. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot, so there's not as much room for hand holding. They kind of, you know, look for people that can kind of come in and scope out what needs to be done. You've got the team there, but yeah, they're looking for people that can pretty much, you know, like I said, come in and hit the ground running. So lots of projects. This is, they call it the Business Technology Group, but they just have lots of great projects going on. I mean, you could be there, this could last a long time. And a lot of people go from eventually contract to direct hire. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised at that at all. So.
Yeah, I was telling you, so this is known as a contract to hire, and he said he's definitely open for that. And then in regards to the job, you know, they're looking for the Salesforce experience, so
definitely, you know, experiences
covered on that, and I'm
if so, just, you know, definitely be prepared for that.
all right. That sounds good.
Okay. Well, look forward to, I should be on the call to do a quick introduction at the beginning, and then I'll jump off and let you guys have your meeting.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. All right, looking forward to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Yeah. So this is how like it ended, right? They nicely provided an update, and then like a few minutes later we went into the interview. And
so the last 2 years from the pandemic itself, like a couple of times, and
she was introducing to the managers over there, and they did the interview, and we just kind of went over.
That was my primary goal.
So I don't want like to play out the entire one, as I said. So this is what has happened there. So hopefully, right, again, if we get cleared with this, that's a whole another level, right? So we will play this out and talk about it at a later time. So with that being said, I will close this topic today. And as usual, right, we will try to review and work with Google and YouTube as well to get our channel in the right place, because we don't want like the subscribers or viewers to go off, because we have just started and we have a long way to go. So with that being said, bye for now.
Bye.